Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live. We're for the first time again with L2S F2 Esports League, and it's for Season 3. It's going to be a 10 race season on this one here before the new game comes out. So starting round 1 of 10 right now with the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're on with the one-shot qualifying here right now before getting started with the feature race, and just waiting to see when these guys get started here with that one-shot qualifying. Let's see how the grid is going to look like before we get on started with the race itself. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on. Thank you guys for joining, and please guys do make sure that you do leave a like on the stream. We really do appreciate when you guys do that. And on board we are right now with GTF Fanatic here. I'll probably keep on with him for a bit as he goes on through with his one-shot qualifying lap here. Let's see how well that's going to go for him. We seem to have 17 drivers here in the session. Going to be quite an interesting race, especially with the first round being here at Brazil. So let's see how his current lap is going here. Probably put on lap data and have a look at that and see what's happening on track with that. But yep, definitely going to be a lot of fun once again watching these guys in the F2 cars get around for another race. It should be quite an interesting short season, even though just 10 races long. I think the previous season was about 15 races, so really not too long. But yeah, going to be a lot of fun to see how these guys perform with that there as well. So GTF Fanatic somewhere in the middle of the grid right now with his lap time that he currently is doing. Looks like BMC is currently in the lead for fastest lap here. David seems to have got the second, now down to third. John Banter going up into second. Angry Orange seems to be in fourth. Lando in fifth. Laurentio is 6th. Ace vs King currently 7. Bollocks in 8th. GTF Fanatic here in 9th. J-Sarge currently in 10th. Infamous now up to 10. J-Sarge down to 11. Pedro there down to 12. Omar 13. Spooner 14. Slayer 15. And Mr. Pada, oh, and we got a few drivers out. Mr. Pada is out of the session there as well. Alright, so let's see what our qualifying results are and how the starting grid is going to be looking like for the start of the feature race here for Brazil. Alright, so there we have it. So John Banter got the fastest lap in that one-shot qualifying session for MP Motorsport at 1:16.228. BMC got second fastest at 1:16.298. Very interesting lap times, and about 700 a second time difference, not too bad. David there starting third. We got Laurentio is going to start 4th. Angry Orange will start 5th. We got Lando Bot will start 6th. Ace vs King starting 7th. We got Bollocks starting in 8th. GTF Fanatic starts 9th. J-Sarge will start 10th. Infamous SMG starts 11th. We got Pedro starting 12th. Omar 13th. We got Mr. Padar there starting 14th. We got Slayer in 15th. Spooner there 16th. Frenzy 17th on the grid for BWT. So going to be very interesting to see how this race start is going to go. Lap times are pretty close off, especially the first half of the grid. So going to be very interesting to see how the start of the feature race goes. And let's see what strategies guys are going to try and pull off here right now. I think indication was given to no one is a bit until after the third lap of the first race. So let's see how that race start is about to go. We're just getting into that here right now. Once again guys, welcome to all of you joining on the stream. Please guys, make sure you do leave a like on the stream. Really does help us out when you guys do that. And remember, we just finished a one-shot qualifying. We're going into the 50% feature race, after which immediately after that we're going to go into the 50% sprint race. So just keep an eye out for that, and don't get off the session because it's going to be just over maybe an hour long or so for the entire session. Probably about maybe an hour, 10 minutes, hour 15, just average about that time or so, as usually it is. So we're waiting for everyone to get their race setups in, and about to get started on this race here right now for the feature race of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We got 5 lights, and that is lights out. We got John Banter on BMC. Let's see who gets a better start. John Banter seems to get a pretty decent start there, and there goes David getting up into second already on the grid. And we're going to keep that on tires so we can see what exactly is happening on track here. And so far so good with that race. It seems to be very clean off as Angry Orange is right behind BMC. Is down to third from that started race. David got up into second. Angry Orange now running fourth, just behind him, about a 10 behind. And really trying to get that position up if he can. Let's see how that's going to go. Lando there running fifth, about 6 tenths behind. Bollocks another 2 tenths. Laurentio another 2 tenths as well. Pretty close gaps. We got J-Sarge on the threat here race now with Mr. Padar behind him. Let's see how close he is actually getting behind. And a bit of contact between Jay Sarge and him there, and Jay Sarge trying to get around the outside right now. So quite a close gap between cars down at the back of the grid, on down even up to the midfield, as we have it here getting on through the opening lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix for the feature race. And this is going to be a 20-lap race around here. We do have Infamous and I think GTF Fanatic going side by side there, was it? Let's have a look at that there right now. So GTF Fanatic trying to get in with that there as well. He's trying to keep up into 11th, and he seems to be getting up that position against GTF Fanatic, but trying to fight it back through. And he's in 11th, GTF Fanatic down to 12. Still about a 210 gap between them out in front. John still leads right now with David running in second. About a 210 gap is what it is. And let's have a look and see what that looks like here right now. So a pretty close gap between these two guys as we have it here. And they're not running too bad. And looks like David is looking to get by John if he can. Let's see how that's going to work for him. So far as we have it, David about 2 tenths behind John there. BMC running third, Angry Orange in fourth. Still a pretty close gap that he has. We're trying to keep with the gap out front to see what's happening with these two guys here, if they're going to be switching positions or not. Because seems like David has a bit of decent pace to try and get by at the moment. And he definitely might be trying to do that. And we can be... oh, we do have a safety car just happening here right now. So we're going to deal with that in just a bit. Let's put lab data on, take telemetry off until we need telemetry on here. Alright, so we do have a safety car happening. I'm not sure what's... oh, there is the incident there with Mr. Padar there out of the race. I think this is his first race here with L2S F2 Esports, and he's out of this race already on the second lap of the race as we're getting on through. So that safety car is going to be here for another 2 laps or so before it goes back in. As we have a John Matter still leads here with David there running second, BMC still running third. And we got Ampere Orange in fourth. A pretty close gap between most of our cars, as we can see there right now. We're going to go on down to the midfield and probably follow on with Ace versus King here, as he has a bit of a decent gap, trying to catch up to Laurentier, of course, still on a safety car, so no overtaking. GTF Fanatic getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So we got 2 cars in the pit lane right now, Infamous and GTF Fanatic, and GTF Fanatic got a penalty there. Yes, for speeding in the pit lanes. You're going to have to serve that maybe at the end of the race. We'll see how much penalty he actually got, I'm not sure. But so far, quite interesting on that race start that we just had there. And interesting close gap between all of our cars still, because we're only into... are we in the 3rd lap already? I'm not even sure. But yeah, we're getting into it here right now. So let's see. I'm not sure if the leaderboard has glitched or not. Honestly, I didn't pay attention. Now we were in lap 2. Alright, so yeah, so as we have it, trying to have a look. Alright, so MB Motorsport not doing too bad so far. BMC though lost a position on that race start. They're into 3rd now. Let's have a look at position changes as it was. There we have it there right now. You guys can have a look on who gained and who lost positions in this race start there. Spooner there gained 6 positions from the start. He's doing pretty well. GTF Fanatic had to take a pit stop and lost quite a few positions down in the back, down to 16th on the grid there right now as it is. And going back the tires here right now, we got majority of our cars running on the soft tires. A few cars running on the mediums. They're going to have to do a stop if we're getting to the end of this race. We're going to see how that's going to work for them. Spooner and Omar, I think, I don't know what's happening with the 2 of them down in the back of the grid there. We're just waiting for that safety car to go back in here right now to get back started with this race itself. But quite an interesting start coming up to this point, and hopefully it's going to be a very interesting season, as it was the last season with the races that we had here from L2S F2 Esports. Always a thrilling race every single Tuesday evening when we get on board with them. So looking forward to the same sort of excitement on the races for this season as well. Remember guys, we do have that sprint race coming up just after this. We're only into lap 4 of the feature race here right now of 20, and still on the safety car going. Hopefully the safety car goes in at the end of this lap. I'm not sure. I'm trying to... let's have a look out front actually with John following on that safety car, and let's see if it's going to be going in on this current lap. Okay, it's back on again. Let's have a look at what is going on. Still, safety car is still out on the track here. Not seem to be going in on this current lap. So I assume it's going to be going in on lap 5. And we're going to go back racing on lap 6. So just keeping an eye to see what's happening with that situation. So yep, it's still out on track and still going to continue on, at least for now. And interestingly enough, we have our race leader going into the pits right now. When the safety car might actually be coming in on this current lap. John Banter is into the pits. His teammate continues on leading the race out front. That's David leading. BMC back up into second right now. Angry Orange in third. Bollocks now with the fourth. Torrentio up to fifth. J-Star 6. Omar 7. Spooner in 8th. Pedro in 9th. Frenzy in 10th as the top 10 so far. Slayer in 11th. John Banter currently in 12th. As you have a few cars taking their pit stops right now. And looks like they're not going to be doing a second stop. They're going to be doing this one stop and getting back out as we have it, because we see John Banter getting out on the mediums here right now. I think he was on the softs and running as his teammate was, and when he does get back out, that means he doesn't have to stop for the remainder of the race. He's going to be going all the way to lap 20 on those tires. That's about a 15 lap run, not too bad of a to do that either. So he's going to be looking forward to getting back his positions by the time that race gets back restarted. He's trying to catch back up to the safety car queue there right now before the race does get restarted back here. And we can see they're running about to get into sector 3 here. I think already sector 3, I think. Or are they not? I'm not sure. No, they're not in sector 3 as yet. So we're waiting for them to get into sector 3, and we should have the notification from race control that that race is about to get back restarted here. So we're just waiting for that information to come on screen there right now. And there we have it, guys. So race control confirming the safety car is coming in on this current lap, and we're about to get back racing here. So we're going to keep an eye on BMC and David here to see how the restart is going to go between the two of them. Alright, so just waiting for David to get the go and get ahead there right now, and I think he's about to get started back on that, and there he goes, get back on the power, and so does BMC chasing after him into turn 1. Let's see how well that's going to go. We got two cars going side by side already, trying to fight off our position. I think that's maybe Omar and Spooner trying to fight it off for P7 as they get on through, and we got a car spinning around down in the back there. I'm not sure who that was, but probably... I'm trying to have a look. That was John Banter having some serious problems down at the back of the grid here right now, trying to get back started. I'm not sure if he had contact with anyone or not, but he's getting back going there right now, but not having the best of races. That pit stop has really cost him there. As you can see, BMC trying to get past Angry Orange here right now. Actually, trying to get past the Laurent here right now. Angry Orange is already up into second place in the race. We got BMC and Bollocks trying to fight it on through for that position there in 4th right now, and their teammates, so they got to be a bit careful about that. It looks like BMC has the inside, so Bollocks has the inside. Really hard to tell with these two right now. Oh, and there we go. We got Bollocks having some problems with the car. They're losing a bit of traction, and he's gotten off track. He's trying to get back going right now, but with a lot of traffic on the racetrack itself, he needs to be a bit careful about that. He's now back into 13th, all the way down there on the grid. And let's have a look at Lando. He's chasing after Frenzy for P10, and this is going to be an interesting run getting down into turn 1. He's going to go side by side with him on that one there, and looks like Lando might be getting up position, which he has to just use the braking zone getting on the inside, and looks like he does get the position up quite easily there. Behind Slayer now he runs. So he's going to go after that, try to fight maybe for 9th position. We'll see how that's going to go. But Slayer and Pedro here going side by side, fighting it off for 8th position in this race at the moment. And they seem to be doing pretty well at it. Slayer seems to have gotten up into 8th. Pedro is down to 9th. Trying to have a look on board. Someone is having some trouble on track, and I think that's Pedro there. Might have been having some trouble getting off track just a bit. He's down to 12th right now after that. A bit of mishap there. Going back up to Spooner here in 7th. He's chasing after Omar for 6th place, and does have Slayer coming just behind him. So a very close gap. Slayer's trying to get alongside him there right now as he gets on through. And now chases after Jay Sarge, who is out front by 2.7 seconds. We still have Omar coming back at him, and Slayer as well. Lando might try to get in on this battle as well. He's watching on from just behind them. It's about 3 or 4 cars trying to fight for 1 position here. P6 is where Spooner's at. Slayer and Omar fighting it through side by side for P7. And looks like Slayer gets ahead, and Omar has some problems down at the back. They're losing the car because Lando gets up into 8th, Frenzy up to 9th, Ace up to 10th, Petro's down to 11th right now, Bollocks 12th, Omar 13th, on the grid as we have it. And yes, there's a bit of incident going on there. So Lando, Slayer, and Spoon are pretty close off. DRS, let me have a look, see what's happening here with that. Angry Orange, who's getting penalty down at the bottom? Ballers gets penalty. A lot of penalties being handed out, and there goes the DRS advantage coming up for Orlando there right now, and he uses that advantage. He's only a 10th behind Slayer right now, and looks like he's going to take it on the inside to try to get a position up, and he actually gets up into 6th. So great move on Lando there for getting that position up. Slayer's now down to 7th. Spooner running another 2 tenths behind Frenzy, another 3 tenths behind. Out in the front, we got a bit of a gap between our race leaders there, except for BMC, about 5 tenths behind Laurenti, chasing him down for 4th. We'll see if that's going to get any closer or not. Right now, Lando and Slayer here, though, is following on with these two. So a pretty close gap with Spooner and Slayer, and we do have Frenzy coming just behind. That is oh, then Ace versus King gets by. He's up into 9th behind his teammate there, and we have another safety car happening here. It seems to be a safety car there on streaming here today. So second safety car in the feature race on lap 8 here right now. I slowed everything down. Omar is out of the race, and I think that's what's caused the safety car. And there's his car, was at the inside of turn 1, as we saw Laurenti just went by. So as we have a majority of the cars going into the pits right now. So let's see what's going to happen in our race here. Laurenti out in the lead. He has not pitted in the race so far. Let's have a look at pit stops. If we can. Yeah, there we go. So we have 2 cars who have not pitted. That's Laurenti and Spooner that have not done a pit stop in this race so far. So let's see how the strategy is going to work for them. Let's get back out on tires and penalties as they are. Not too bad so far with the penalties, but they're going to get a bit more maybe as we get further on in the session. We'll see how that goes. So majority of the cars into the pits there right now. Welcome to the Commentator on the stream live chat there. Glad to have him on. Usually used to see him racing here as well. Alright, so under the safety car still on lap 9 here right now. I'm going on through probably another lap or 2 more under the safety car before we do get back racing. Want to see how that's going to go. So, see, I think just getting about the halfway point of this race, and it's gone a bit interesting so far. Quite a few battles going on, but everything is on pause now, and that we have the safety car happening. So 2 drivers out so far of the race. Unfortunate for that. We still got 15 drivers in to go to the end of the feature race, and then we'll have all 17 in for the sprint race itself. So let's see how that's going to work. And they're going to be back next week. But enjoy that holiday, mate, and hope to see you back here next week on track for round 2. Going to be a lot of fun to see that going on through as well. So looking forward to that. And let's see what's happening. So we got our race leader Laurenti now into the pits. Let's see his strategy is probably going to be going on to the soft to go to the end here. Yep, it does seem like what the strategy is. So he's getting onto the soft. He's going to get back out here right now. Seem to be a bit slow getting off the after the tires were changed here. Maybe lost about a 10th or so. Still a fast enough pit stop, but let's see what the rest of the grid is up to right now. So what is going on with the grid? So far we got Lando leading this race at the moment under the safety car still, but then we got Spooner running second there. He's about down 9 laps on those tires. I don't think he's taking a stop either, so he still has to stop in this race. John Banter there running third now. David up down to 4th. We got Angry Orange 5th. We got BMC running 6th at the moment. And he's done his stop, so he's all finished with that. I think the only driver left to pit here is Spooner there, so he's the only driver left to pit, and after that, we're going to see what's going to happen there. So JSR running 7th, Laurenti in 8th, Ace vs King running 9th, Frenzy in 10, Bodox 11, GGF Fanatic in 12, Pedro there running 13, Slayer running 14, Infamous there in 15th on the grid at the moment as we have it. So an interesting strategy played out. So we're going to see how it works going down to the end of the race here right now. I think everyone is just trying to catch back up to the safety car queue before we get back restarted, which is not going to be on this lap apparently. Might be the end of lap 11, which is probably what we're going to have to wait for. Let's see how that's going to work out. But it has been quite an interesting session so far. Looking forward to see what the sprint race is going to be like as well. And we'll see how well that's going to go. Yeah, so still going under the safety car here right now, just following with Lando, see what's happening with that. Because I didn't see a notification about that safety car going in as yet. So it looks like we're going one final lap under the safety car. Hopefully no more safety cars at the second half of this race here. Alright, so this is going to be our last lap under the safety car, and then we're going to get back racing, and hopefully from lap 12 to 20 we can finish a race safety car free. Okay, so back on, let's see what's happening. So we're getting to the end of this lap here right now, lap 11. We should have that safety car going. I really didn't pay attention to see if the graphic was on the screen down at the bottom. I was just actually checking something on our streams end, which everything does seem to be fine. Hopefully no one is having any lag on their end viewing the stream, because they changed quite a few settings to have it as clear as possible if you can view it in the highest possible quality there. Hopefully that's going well. So there we go. Safety car is going to be in on this lap, and we're about to get back racing. Let's see what's going to happen between our top three there. Looking pretty interesting with that. Actually, I don't know, with the entire grid, I got to say, because everyone's just about a few tenths off of each other there at the moment. Okay, so here we go right now. Let's have a look with Lando and John Band to see how well that's going into turn one. Has a pretty good gap going, but John has caught up just a little bit in the braking zone. Now we got someone going quite at the side of the track, and I'm not trying to figure out who that was. I think that was BMC. Yeah, that was BMC. All the way down the side. He might have had contact with someone or just lost the car. I'm not sure. We'll try to figure that out maybe a bit later on. Jay Sarge and Laurent are pretty close off it. Angry Orange are fighting on off for fourth position in the race. Ace versus King just behind them as well. Angry Orange trying to get ahead of David there right now. Side by side they go, and fighting enough through for third place in the race, and that's a quite an important position, especially to be a third on the podium. Definitely going to want to be fighting for that. Laurentier and Jay Sart, I think, switch positions there. So let's see what's happening with Angry Orange. He's trying to get around David here right now, having a bit of a difficult time trying to do that. Trying to get him maybe in the braking zone if he can, around some of these turns, try to take me on the inside. Not sure how much of an advantage he's getting, but doesn't seem to be working too well, as he's still running their P4. Let's keep an eye down below right now. I have a look. Slayer and Bollocks here having a bit of a go at it. Switch positions. JSR gets a 3-second penalty. They're unfortunate for that. So quite a close gap down at the back here. GTF Fanatic and Bollocks going side by side, fighting it out for 9th place right now as they're about to go into lap 13. They go right now. There is Bollocks here behind them. So GTF Fanatic gets up into 9th place. He's trying to keep that position, but Bollocks has the inside going into turn one. Let's see if that's going to work for him, and it works pretty well so far. But Bollocks might be still trying to come side by side with him here right now. Two cars coming behind. Let's see if that's going to work out for them, because they do have a pretty close gap, and that is Spooner getting another penalty. I think that's our track limits. So decent gap between most of our drivers here. I can say this is going to be pretty close by. We got Angry Orange, and I think that is Ace versus King going close side by side. Is it? Angry, actually it was with Laurentier there, not Ace versus King. Sorry, my bad on that. A lot of switching around if we got to keep an eye on all of these cars as they go around here right now. J Sart and Slayer still pretty close by with Ace versus King. A 3-10 gap to J Sart, and Ace versus King. He does have a penalty, but let's see what J Sart can do here. He's going to try to get a position up if he can. Out in front, Lando is leading pretty well. He's ahead by a second right now, and about 300 of a second as well. 1.7 second behind John is David there coming. Another 1.5 second is Laurentier. 5 tenths away is Angry Orange though, not too far away. John Matthew gets another penalty there, and we can see J-Start being chased down by Slayer right now, who's trying to get alongside him and get up that position into P7, and he does get it up into turn 1, gets the position away. That's J-Start down a position there. Still trying to fight it back right now. Not sure how well that's going for him. Let's have a look on board right now. And looks like J-Sarge wants to push it around the outside. He has the pace to do this, but will he be able to get the position back? with Slayer on the inside right now. Looks like he actually got it done. So J Sarge is back up into 7th. Slayer got back down to 9th. Not a bad move from him at all there right now. Pedro there trying to get past Bollocks here right now. I'm not sure how that's going for him. Doesn't seem to be going too well. Going back down, Spooner and GTF Fanatic trying to have a look what's happening with these few cars down at the back of the grid. A bit of a train going on here as well. And Lando, aka Mr. Sandman, according to the corner there. Let's see how that's working. He's got a pretty good gap out front, but he's losing a bit of time. Lost about 2 tenths so far from the last time I checked in on him. He's about 9 tenths ahead of John Banter right now. Needs to keep that lead for about 6.5 laps more, or 6 laps more, I'll say. Getting on through the race if he can. John Banter getting faster up. David now getting faster. Laurentier now gets faster. Being switched around a lot right now with fastest lap. We're going to see how well that's going to work. Out in front here, let's have a look what's happening. Ace versus King and Angry Orange, a pretty close gap. We got Ace versus King goes up into 5th place in this race. Angry Orange down to 6th. Spooner gets another penalty there right now. We can have a look what's happening behind J-Star chasing after Angry Orange. Just see how close that gap is going to be. And Angry Orange just going side to side on the track. I think that might have been blocking J-Sarge a bit. Not sure if that's allowed or not. If that's going to be reported, we're going to see how that works out. But Bollocks here trying to get alongside with Pedro to get along ahead of him. Into 9th right now. Looks like he might just be able to get this position up. But let's see if he's able to do that now. He gets ahead. Up into 9th. That's Pedro down to 10th. He's lost that position. GTF Fanatic come behind that. Spooner ahead of him there right now. So another switch happening down in the back. His position switching like crazy around this track here right now. This is the one exciting thing about these F2 races. A lot of battles going on the track from start to end of the race, especially with L2S F2 Esports. And we now do 2 of these F2 races a week. We haven't done the other one as yet, but hopefully we get to do that one this Friday. That's going to be on Xbox. So we'll see what the difference is going to be. But this has been the only F2 league I've actually done since doing these streams, and it's been so much interesting doing them. Let's have a look on board with GTA Fanatic right now on Spooner's tail and really trying to catch him up. Using DRS advantage. You know, now the slipstream a bit just down into turn 1, but he might just keep his position for now. And now pushes on through the side and tries to get ahead. And looks like he's gotten it done. That position up, and they're still actually finding there with just a bit of contact between them. But yeah, GTF Fanatic gets up into 11. Spooner's now down to 12th on that one there. And Frenzy coming just behind that. He's trying to get up a position if he can here as well. Let's have a look if he does get back by Spooner. Because 2 tenths is what the gap is between them. Out in front I can see John Banter has gotten up quite well to Lando there. He's about 5 tenths behind Lando right now for the lead of the race. That is what that fight is going to be about. They're both having done 10 laps on the tire, so it's going to be very interesting between those two for the race win itself. Of course, John Banter has a penalty. I'm just noticing that, so that's going to kind of just affect that for him there. So probably going to be costing him a win, even if he does get by at this point. We got just about 4.5 laps left in this race. Actually, it's going to be exactly 4 laps left here right now as we go into the lead. And let's have a look what's happening up front, because John is definitely catching up to Lando. And looks like John Banter is 2 tenths behind right now. We're going to go on board with a DRS advantage, trying to pull it around the outside of Lando. But right now, let's see if he's able to get that done. And unfortunately, not able to at this point. He's still going to push on through for this. Needs to be very careful though. If he messes this up, it's going to cost him the entire race itself. Because right now, he's aiming for P2 and just trying to get a race, just get across the line P1 if he can. Because Lando definitely will get back the race win as long as he finishes the race without any penalties at this point here. So 5 tenths is what the gap is between Lando and John Banter. Still going on through with them. Lap 17 of 20 right now. We're getting so close to the end of this feature race, and it's getting quite intense with the battles going on, especially for the race winner. So let's have a look at the penalties to see what's happening. So it's just a 3-second penalty right now for John Banter. He needs to get ahead. Lando gets 3 seconds ahead, and he could get the race win and keep it. Of course, Lando will get it back there, because it's going to be very difficult for him to actually get ahead and get 3 seconds of a gap going here right now, because he doesn't seem to have the pace to chase after Lando as much. He's getting close, but I don't think he's getting close enough. So let's get on back over to tires, and let's have a look and see how this race is going to come to an end. Pedro and Bollocks probably having a switch down in the back here. Bollocks is still on Pedro's rear and trying to catch him right now. Let's see if that's going to go. That's a fight for 8th place in this race right now. And a pretty decent gap, but I'm going to go back out front with our race leaders here, Lando and Mr. John Banter here. David is coming up behind them, about 6 tenths behind. We can see his car right there as well. So it might end up being a 3-way battle here for these guys getting across the line. But I think it's going to stay mostly between their top 2 there, but David is just trying to get up into 2nd place if he can. There's a set of penalties there as well to deal with. They're into their running 4th. Ace versus King though, looking pretty good so far because he doesn't have any penalties in this race. Neither does Frenzy there, and I'm not sure if Angry Orange has any currently in the pit, so I'll have to wait for him to get back out to have a look at that to see what the situation is with that there. But David gets past John here. He's up into 2nd place in this race right now. Now this has cost him some time there because there's now 1.1 seconds to Lando out in front, and they've gone into lap 19 of this race right now. 2 laps, just under 2 laps left to go here before we finish off the feature race. And we got behind here, we got Laurentier fighting it off with John Banter trying to get up into 3rd place for their finishing position of the race. We'll see how that's going to work. There's been penalties online. You guys can have a look at that and see how it's going to work out for race finishes here. So far so good, has been quite interesting. We got Laurentier really trying to get by John Banter right now, but still might be losing back the position because he needs an additional 2 seconds if he wants to keep P3 and stay on the podium here. So it looks like it's going to be Lando finishing P1, David might be finishing P2, and John Banter might be finishing P3, but it might be a switch between David and John because David does have an 8-second penalty, whereas John has only 3 seconds. It's a 5-second difference between them, and the gap is only 1.9 seconds. Now 2 seconds. He needs a 5-second and more gap in order to keep 2nd place on the podium there. That's David we're talking about, and John is going to try and keep the gap below 5 seconds if he can to make sure that he does get back 2nd place at the end of this race. We're going to see how well that's going to work out. Bollocks there, 5-second penalty, and car in front of him is Pedro with 6 seconds of penalty, so he is definitely trying to keep within a second right now, as interesting as it is to get up a position before the end of this race. But when the race does come to an end, we're into the final lap here right now, so let's have a look at what's happening out front between David and Lando right now. As we can see, David chasing after Lando, but not going as well as expected with them. So gap is now down to under a second, but still, is he going to be able to get the overtake done in time to get across the line P1? But of course, he still will not be able to keep it with the way things are going in the race right now. So let's see. We're going to keep on the overhead cam and follow Lando as he finishes his final lap around the circuit here. And not going to be too bad of a win for him, because I'm not sure where he started in this race. Trying to have a look at that right now. He's gained 5 positions so far in the race, and looks like Slayer's gained 8 positions. He might be looking at driver of the day for that race at least. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, let's have a look and see if Lando still is gonna get the win here. Definitely looks so, because with the way the gap is, I'm putting that back to penalties. It's 8 seconds of penalties there between David and it's only a 5-10 gap, so even if he gets past, he's still not going to get it there. As we get around the final turn here right now, getting back onto that pit straight, and there goes Lando getting across the line here right about now to take the win for the Brazilian Grand Prix for the feature race here for L2S F2 Esports. And that's John Banter taking 2nd, David takes 3rd, and has a switch with Ace vs King. Ace vs King goes up into 3rd because of no penalties. David goes down to 4th. John takes 2nd. Laurentier takes 5th. Slayer takes 6th as it is right now. J Sarge takes 7. Pedro takes 8. We got Bollocks taking 9th. We got GTF Fanatic taking 10th place, and a bit of a switch happened just above. I'm not sure. So it's Pedro in 8th, Frenzy in 9th, Bollocks at 10, GTF Fanatic 11. Spooner looks like he's coming across to take 12th place in this race here right now. He's about to get across the line, and looks like he has a puncture as well, driving that car with a puncture tire to get across the line, and does actually get across in P12. BMC is going to finish 13th on the grid and has an excellent starting position, but had a horrible start at the race itself, and he's getting across the line for 13th. We got I think Angry Orange finishing there in 14th. So what a race we just had there. Let's have a look, and that's driver of the day goes to Slayer there. Not too bad of that for him. Let's have a look at the results for these for the feature race, and then we're gonna head straight over to sprint race itself. So let's have a look at that result here right now. Alright, so those three guys on the podium there, and let's see. Alright guys, so there is our results for the feature race here. Brazilian Grand Prix, round 1 of 10 for L2S F2 Esports League for Season 3. We got Lando taking the win on this one, and John Banter finishing second. Ace vs King takes his third on the podium for that one there. We got David taking fourth. Laurentier takes fifth and fastest lap in this race. Slayer takes sixth and driver of the day. JSR takes 7. Pedro takes 8. Frenzy takes 9, Bollocks takes 10, we got GTF Fanatic takes 11, Spooner taking 12, BMC 13, Angry Orange 14, and Infamous there 15, Omar 16, and Mr. Padar there in 17. We're gonna head straight on over to the sprint race session there right now, guys, so just keep an eye out for that. In just about a minute or two, we should be heading over to that. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for that to load on through, and just in case you guys did miss it, screen there right now. Once again, guys, welcome to all of you who are currently joining on the stream here with us. Please, guys, make sure you guys do leave a like on the stream, and please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new on here. And I think we're about to get started with our sprinters here right now. So let's have a look between Pedro, who's starting P1, and JSR starting P2, how that start is going there right now, because we're trying to get some stats up on screen as quickly as we can here. Looks like it's going pretty well so far for those out front. Not sure how the back of the grid is getting on through. As we can see, quite a few cars getting off track just a bit, and that is, I think, Laurentier getting off track with losing quite a few positions. He's down to 11th on the grid. We're going back up the order right now to have a look at Slayer, who's chasing after Pedro for second place, and see how that is going. He does have Lando coming just behind of him, P4. He's already up quite a few positions from the start, and he's looking at those two in front of him going side by side. That's Pedro and Slayer there. Slayer gets up into second. Pedro's trying to fight it back for that position, and JSR trying to get out of front, trying to keep the lead as much as he can. A bit of contact between Slayer and Pedro on opening lap here for the sprinters. 14 lap races, but this is going to be, and a bit of tapping going on. Lando here trying to get ahead of these two, but he's going to push on through on the inside of Pedro right now and follow behind Slayer. Might be able to get past Slayer as well. Actually, no, he's going to try to keep it there in third. GTF Fanatic is up into fourth right now behind Lando and chasing after him. Angry Orange here running fourth, sixth, and Bollocks running fifth at the moment. Let's see how the rest of the race goes on through. Out in front though, J Sarge getting quite a lead going here. 1.2 seconds ahead of Slayer, who is just a bit more worried about Lando, 4 tenths behind right now. And GTF Fanatic another 3 tenths behind. So let's see how the battle is going on with them at the moment. Bollocks here going back down in 6th with him. He's pretty close behind. Angry Orange, and does have actually behind BMC right now. So those two are going side by side. Once again, they're added in this race as they were in the previous feature race that we just had. They're going to fight it off through for a position here again. Looks like Laurentier just got ahead of Spooner there. So out in front, we're trying to keep an eye on what's going on with GTF Fanatic, Lando, and Slayer for second place they're fighting for in the race there right now. And a bit of gap to Angry Orange, 1 second and behind. And races like this with this league, quite a bit of gap. John Banter and David down in the back of the grid having a bit of switch there as well. Omar in the middle of that, and Mr. Powder as well. He's versus King just in front of them, so we'll see how that's going to go in just a bit as well there. Out in front, Slayer is trying to catch up with JSR. 1.5 seconds is what the gap is. still trying to follow on with what Lando is up to here right now. He's right up to the rear of Slayer's car. He's going to take it on the inside through the pit straight here. And it doesn't look like he's going to push it on through for that position as yet. Of course, Lando just about a 10th behind. Does have, he's up in the position right now. He's gotten through for turn 1. He's up into 2nd place in the race. Slayer's down to 3rd. GTA Fanatic running a 10th behind Slayer right now. So he's trying to get another position up if he can. GTA Fanatic just still a 10 to 2 tenths behind. So quite a close train of cars running on through. I think someone having a bit of trouble down in the back might have been Angry Orange. Actually he's falling back quite a bit, 1.4 seconds behind. Let's see if we can have a look at what's happening with these three in front here. GTA Fanatic, Slayer, and Lando here. Fighting it out for a position still. Lando running a 2nd, has a gap to catch up with the J-Sarge out in front. 1.6 seconds is what that gap is. And Slayer running just behind him there right now. Another 7 tenths, 4 tenths behind that is GTA Fanatic, followed by BMC, followed by Angry Orange, then Laurentier, then Bollocks, then Petro, then Ace vs King now up to 10th ahead of his teammate Spooner there. So far so good in this race. It's a sprint race, always a little bit more intense than the feature race as we have it, so never ever miss the sprint race. Always a lot of fun to watch. Ace versus King and Spooner side by side through that start finish straight as they get on through, fighting for that position there. P10 David gets 117 fastest lap there in the race so far. We got somebody going wide. I'm not sure who went wide there. We're just focusing on these two cars here. Spooner, Ace versus King with Pedro just behind of them. Might have been David going wide a bit there. I'm not even sure who that was. But still a close gap between these guys here. Pedro trying to get in the middle of this battle. He might want to lay off just a bit as these two might end up taking each other out if they're not careful out in front. We're trying to have a look on board from Pedro's car, see what's happening with Spooner and Ace versus King out in front. And they're definitely fighting for that position. They're racing each other. Not sure if team orders are in play on this one, but they're fighting for positions and points here right now. It's the first race of the new season, so definitely everyone wants to get some good points in to get the season started with. And that's a bit of a mistake from Pedro's end. We're almost losing the car. There's a bit of oversteer, I'm not sure. And he's gotten back going though, and hasn't lost the car. Back up to Laurentier here, about 5 tenths right now behind Angry Orange and still going. Actually, let's have a look down at the back here with BMC, Frenzy, and Mr. Padar there. And BMC trying to get alongside him, trying to get around on the inside, and looks like he gets up into 12th place in this race. He's still fighting it on through for that position there though. That's about the 10 behind right now. He definitely has the DRS advantage. He's going to take it on the outside through the pit straight. And looks like he's going to get that position up unless Mr. Padar can fight it back on the inside. Let's see how that's going to go. But BMC will come back on the inside of the next turn. So he gets the position up into 12th place on this race. He goes right now. David here in 14 has Frenzy about 3 tenths behind of him. And we're going to go back up to Angry Orange here now in 5th to see what's happening. He's a 10th behind GTA Fanatic, fighting it for 4th place in this race. And looks like he's going to take it around the outside here right now to get that position up. Lando though having an excellent race right now. He's up into 2nd place, 1.2 seconds behind J-Sart. Is he going to be able to take a 2nd win this evening here for the sprint race as well? We're going to have a look to see how that's going to work out, because both of them on the 4 laps on those tires. Gap is only 1.3 seconds, and GTA Fanatic seems to be holding up Angry Orange just a bit here right now. Of course, Laurentier coming just behind that. He's now a 10th behind Angry Orange. Orange is going to have to be very, very careful. I'm very worried about this as Laurentier is going to go around the outside and try to get a position up on him here. We're going to have a look on the rear view, see if we can see what's happening down that pit straight, and Angry Orange has the outside. And looks like he's going to get the position of GTA Fanatic running 4th. Laurentier in 5th. Angry Orange in 6th right now. Down to Spooner here in 10th place, chasing after John Banter there for that position. Trying to get alongside him here right now with Pedro coming just behind him. He's trying to get in the middle of this. And he's going to be about 3 cars fighting for 1 position. Spooner and Pedro now going side by side as John trying to keep it in 9th as much as he can here. Out in front, gaps are extending just a bit. We got a 1.4 second gap between J Sarge and Lando for the lead. Slayer another 1.6 second behind. GTA Fanatic another 2.1 second. Laurentier 3 tenths behind, so pretty close gap for him. Let's see if we can have a look, see what's happening out front. Laurentier there is about 3 tenths behind GTA Fnatic and Orange right there as well. Try to keep an eye on these guys, see how their battle is going on, and we can see Orange I think going just a bit wide on track. We're in lap 6 of 14 right now, getting to that halfway point of the race here very quickly. Remember, it is just a sprint race, so very quickly we're gonna come to the end of this race, and approaching halfway point. So Laurentier at 10th behind. We got some pit stops happening there. GTA Fnatic I think is into the pits there right now. That puts a few drivers up positions. And Laurentier is running 4th, Angry Orange up to 5th, Bollocks running 6th, Ace vs King 7, John in 8th. We got Pedro running 9th, Spooner fighting it off with him running 10th. GTA Fnatic is down into the pits there as going down to 11th now, 12th now he is. Let's see where he comes back out on track. We got two cars fighting side by side. I think that's Angry Orange and Laurentier. They're fighting it out side by side for P4 in this race. Angry Orange does have a penalty there as well, so we'll see how the penalty works out at the end of the race there. On lap 7 of 14 here right now, so halfway point of the race has been achieved here. We've got another half of the race to go before getting into another 7 laps or so. Trying to have a look, see what's happening with these two here right now. So still on with Laurentier chasing after Angry Orange, about a 6-10 gap of is what it is there right now. Mr. Padar there is in the pits there right now. Let's have a look down below with Pedro here and Spooner. It's a pretty close gap between Pedro and Spooner here. Pedro driving pretty well. I think he's a new driver here in L2S F2 Esports, because I haven't seen him driven in the last season. So a few new drivers here for the new season. So hopefully we can see them get up to speed with everyone else and see some very intense racing from everyone as we usually see here. Pedro here chasing after Spooner. He's doing a pretty good job of keeping up with him. 2 tenths is the gap is. He's trying to get ahead into P9 here right now for some more points for the first race of the season. Definitely want to get into that points there. So let's see how well that's going to work for him. He's now at the 10 behind, trying to get side by side with Spooner. Has the outside going to the next turn. Let's see if he's able to get that position around. And he's getting a bit of an advantage getting it wrong here right now. Looks like he might be able to hold down to 9th place and put Spooner down into 10th. But go on board with Spooner right now. Spooner is still trying to get alongside him on the outside and not able to get the position up. So that's Pedro taking back the racing line, but he's probably going to be losing the position still if he's not careful here. Needs to make sure. Oh, and there it goes. He goes on the outside, so Spooner takes it on the inside. Tries to get around the outside once again. And that's a bit of a switch. So still Pedro holds on currently to the position. Now Spooner's trying to take it back. They're still side by side fighting down through. This is for 9th place in the race, still for points. So they're still going to be fighting it off through. Any amount of points is worth it at this point here. Lando, he's about a 10th behind. Let's have a look what's happening up front. He's about to get by. He's side by side with JSR for the lead of the race here right now. And this is going to be very interesting to see. That is Lando getting fastest lap there as he got across the line. We're into lap 9 of 14, and he is definitely looking to get by into the lead of the race for another win for the Brazilian Grand Prix for the sprinters here right now, and he's about to do that. Let's see, J Sarge is fighting it pretty hard, not allowing him to get by right now, trying to force it on through and keep that position. Lando seems to be up so far. They're still side by side going on through into sector 2 there right now, still fighting it from the start of this lap. They've been side by side on through, fighting along for the lead of the race. I don't think J Sarge wants to give this up, and he's not giving it up, but Lando is fighting pretty hard right now, and no damage, no contact between the two cars as far as we can see so far, and that looks like it's J Sarge finally having to take it down to second, as he's not able to further fight it on with Lando out there. So Lando is up into the lead right now, into P1 in this race. That's J Sarge down to second, and it might just stay this way for maybe just a bit more. Let's see if J Sarge is able to come back at him. The gap is only 3 tenths between the two of them, so he still could have the advantage. He will be able to have some DRS advantage right now, which might help him get back that position. Let's have a look here and see how that's going to work, if the DRS does help, and it seems to be helping. Along with the slipstream, he's going to take it on the inside and possibly get that position back from Lando here right now, and J Sarge goes back into the lead of the race, but Lando might still be side by side with him fighting on through. Oh, and we have J Sarge having a problem. He's lost the car and spun around just a bit, and he's trying to get back going there right now. This is costing him a race win, even a podium position at this point here. He's down to 5th position on the grid behind his teammate. And that is Lando taking away the lead comfortably out front by 2.2 seconds with just 4.5 laps left to go in the race right now. And we're going to go back out front just a bit to follow with Laurentier here chasing after Angry Orange right now. And I'm quite sure Jay Sarge is going to be very frustrated with that bit of incident there that he just had, losing the car just a bit of wrong turn. He definitely was fighting pretty hard with Lando for that position, but unfortunate that he has fallen down so many positions here. Okay, so still on lap 10 here right now. See where our race leader is. Our race leader is about to go into lap 11, so really just 4 laps remaining in this race right now. But Lando leading pretty well, 2.3 seconds. And how far down did he start in the race there? Position changes. He started 7 places down. Angry Orange has gained 11 positions in this race. He's running pretty well, and he's up into P3. Of course, he does have a penalty there, so we're going to see how that plays out for him. Of course, Orlando running very, very well. And BMC is out of the race, unfortunately, just noticing that. It's a 3-second penalty for Slayer, 6 seconds for Angry Orange. What's happened to BMC, I'm not sure, but he is out of the race. Actually, I think his car just disappeared from track. We would have gotten a chance to have a look at it. But I think that's gone with there right now. Spooner seemed to have made a mistake and gone on to full wet tires here. And I don't know what's going to happen with him there right now. That's a tremendous mistake made there. I'm not sure what happened in that scenario, but he's made some sort of mistake and gone onto the wet tires. And that's going to cost him the entire race here right now. He's down to 15. Now down, being lapped by the race leader Orlando there. And he's going to have to try and get back into the pits to get that taken care of there, as we have absolutely no rain in this session here right now. Going back down to Jay Sarge here, chasing after Laurentier there. Let's see if he's able to get by him for 4th place, and he has the DRS advantage, pushing on through as much as he can, using a bit of slipstream here as well, and he's going to push it on through the inside with the braking zone. Let's see if he gets back P4 away from Laurentier, and he looks like he does get it back quite easily too. So that's a great move from Jay Sarger, getting back up into the 4th place. He needs to try and get up into 3rd if he can, try to get that car on the podium. He's 3.2 seconds behind Angry Orange, and he might just be able to get a podium back here because Angry Orange has a penalty, and he needs to just get, I think, let me see what the penalty is here right now. It's a 9-second penalty, so it looks like Jay Sarge is getting that position back up. He might be looking at getting 2nd place in this race as well, because Slayer has a 6-second penalty. So Jay Sarge is not looking too bad right now in terms of staying on the podium. Of course, I don't think he's too happy about losing off the lead of the race. Let's see how that's going to go there. Angry Orange is 6 tenths behind Slayer right now and trying to fight him off for a position if he can. And hello to Serious Mushroom there. Glad to have you on there as well, and hope you enjoy watching it back later when you do have a chance. Please don't forget, guys, leave a like on the stream. Really do appreciate you guys doing that. And interestingly enough, we have Spooner still on the wet tires, and we're seeing rain started to come down here right now. But of course, it's lap 13 of the race. Just a lap and a half more to go, so really no point going on to wet tires in this race here. Unless some torrential rain comes down in less than a second, then that's going to make a difference. But at this point here right now, and Laurentier is into the pits going on to the wet tires here as well. Not really sure if that was actually needed, because I'm trying to have a look on how everyone else is getting off out in front, because we're about to go into the final lap of this race very, very soon with Lando here. So really, I don't see the point of going on to the wet tires. But we have 2 drivers who made the decision to go on to the wets. Laurentier just made that switch, so let's see what exactly the situation is going to be here. I want to see if our race leader is going to decide to do a stop or just finish off the final lap here on the tires that he is currently on. We got another driver. GTA Fanatic has made a switch onto the wet tires here as well, and it's about to enter. We're about to go into the final lap here, and Lando is just going to go into the final lap of the race on these same set of tires. No switching to wet tires here, because I don't think the track has any water for that as yet. Are these guys having any sort of grip on track? Let's have a look here right now. I'm trying to have a look if they have grip or have sufficient grip on track. It doesn't seem like they're having the best of luck out there with those wet tires. So they might be rethinking that strategy. And there is Bollocks having some trouble with his car there right now, so definitely it is getting quite slippy on track. I can see why they chose to go onto the wet tires, but they I guess it was possible to finish a race still on the drive, but you just got to be careful about it because Lando is finishing here right now. He is currently in sector 2 and will be finishing this race on his dry tires, 2.2 seconds ahead of Slayer there. Let's bring penalties on board because we're in the final lap of the sprint race here for the Brazilian Grand Prix for L2S F2 Esports League. And just about to finish off this race, and we can see Lando being very careful on his dry tires right, because he knows there's not sufficient grip for these tires. Neither it is there for the wet tires that it is right now. He's probably getting to that point for the wet tires, but let's have a look as he is about to get around the final turn here right now, trying to keep that car as stable as possible, not trying to put the power down too much. And he is going to get across the line and take the win here for the sprint race for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Takes P1 on the podium. Slayer takes second on the podium. Angry Orange comes across to take third on the podium there. Let's see what happens when J Sarge goes across. He takes away the second place podium away from Slayer. Slayer's down to third. Angry Orange out of the podium position there. And John Banter down to fifth. Bollocks is going to come around to get sixth here right now. And I'm just going to wait for him to get across the line with that. So an interesting finish there. J-Star still getting back second place in this race, so not too bad of a finish for him. Bollocks there gets 6 on the grid. We got Pedro finishing 7. We got David who finishes 8 here right now. And then we got Frenzy coming behind him to get across the line and finish in 9th. We got down at the bottom, we got Infamous finishing 13, Spooner finishing 14, Mr. Blar finishing 15, Omar will finish 16th on the grid. We got Esports the King finishing 10th, Laurentier finishes 11, and GTF Fanatic should finish 12th on the grid there. We're going to have a second look at these results before closing off this session here. And we got some unserved penalties as well apparently, so we're going to see how that affects things. We're going to have a look at the preliminary results at the end of this here when GTF Fanatic gets across the line. And driver of the day goes to Angry Orange. Not a bad race from him. Another win for Lando here, so let's have a look at that. So he's not starting off the season too badly, I gotta say. Alright, so let's have a look at the preliminary results before penalties and for stewards get involved with this. So sprint race results as we have it. There we go. So Lando taking the win for the sprint race for the Brazilian Grand Prix. JSR takes second on the podium. Slayer takes third on the podium. Angry Orange has to settle for fourth, but gets driver of the day on that one. Not too bad. Also, Lando got fastest lap, which is pretty good on that. John Banter finishes fifth. We got Bollocks finishing sixth. Pedro finishes seventh. David finishes eighth. Frenzy finishes ninth there. Then we got Ace versus King finishing 10th. Laurentier finishing 11, GTF Fanatic finishes 12, Infamous 13th, Spooner there 14th, Mr. Padar there 15th, and Omar 16th, BMC 17th on the grid with that one there. Either way guys, so thank you guys for everyone who's joined on to the stream here for the live session. If you haven't watch the entire session, we will be ending it off now, so you guys can have a look back at it later when you get a chance. So once again, thanks for everyone who joined on to the stream. Really appreciate you guys joining on, and please make sure you guys do leave a like on the stream, and make sure you guys subscribe if you're new onto the channel here. And as we said, next week we're going to be having the Mexican Grand Prix for round 2 at the same time, so join us again next week for that stream. Of course, we do have more streams during the course of the week, so just join our Discord. Link is in the description of this video, and you can keep an eye out on the schedule that we have going on. So once again, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys on the next stream for this week.